I once fell for a god. He said he could grant me 3 wishes. Awesome. Really? After my SATs, I jumped from the 18th floor of a New York skyscraper, but then I got pulled into somewhere. Who are you? I am a god. I thought my karma had finally caught up, but he just chuckled and asked, how were the essays? Can't die if you don't hit the minimum score, huh? After my SATs, I dyed my hair neon purple, put on heavy makeup, and took the elevator to the 18th floor. A strong wind whipped through the hallway window. I sat on the ledge, the inky blackness of the night refusing to lift. Occasionally, a distant taxi horn blared, piercing the quiet night. 11:57 p.m. Right on time. 3, 2, 1. In the silent night, I felt like a cat losing its footing, plunging downward. The sensation of freefall enveloped me. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through my head. Something had snagged my freshly permed and dyed hair. Then I was yanked into somewhere. What the hell? My new hair is practically all gone. I grumbled, rubbing my head. That's when I realized I was in a room. A thin layer of mist filled the space, blurring the icy walls around me. Light from my fingertips pierced through the haze, creating shadowy forms. Where is this? Am I dead? Why don't I feel any pain? You're not dead yet, a voice from behind me said. I turned around to see a man. He wore a sleek black suit, a white V-neck shirt peeking out from underneath. A small red rose was pinned to his lapel. Elegant black, cute rose. His face was exquisitely handsome, with captivating pale, bright eyes, and a small, delicate tear mole beneath the corner of one eye. He was incredibly good-looking. He looked so young, I'd guess around 22. I blinked. I'm not dead. Then where is this? I ran to the window and looked down. It was still that same building. What floor is this? The 16th floor. So you pulled me in here. Why did you pull me in? Why is this place so weird? What do you want? I couldn't help but rattle off questions like a machine gun. Everything before me was just too bizarre. Don't rush. A mocking smile flickered across his lips. He pulled up a chair and sat down. You're not supposed to die yet. Whether I die or not is none of your business, I replied coldly. Indeed, it's not my business. I'm just offering you a bit of advice. No need. Who are you? I twirled a lock of hair by my ear. I am a god. Oh, a god, huh? Looking this young, you must be an immortal, always able to keep your youthful looks. What kind of god? A fallen god, he said with a gentle smile. Fallen god. His appearance and name didn't match at all, reminding me of the saying a wolf in sheep's clothing. There are gods like that. I shivered. Is my karma finally here? Is it too late to call for help? His beautiful eyes fixed on me. I started to feel scared. He wouldn't prevent me from dying just to torment me forever, would he? That would be cruel enough. He looked at me for a moment, then spoke. How were your SATs? Do you have to check your SAT scores even after death? You can't die if your scores aren't high enough. My SATs were, alright. Why are you asking? Is the underworld so pragmatic now, looking down on people with low scores? Of course not. We are a fair and upright organization. What? Just praising yourself? I scoffed, but he continued, every year after the SATs, the number of suicides increases quite a bit. The waiting rooms in the underworld aren't big enough. So, Hades made a rule, those with high scores get to enter the underworld, those with low scores stay in the human realm. Wow! It really is an organization that only cares about scores. If you get into the underworld, you die. If you stay in the human realm, you live. No, that's not right. Who are you fooling? You can't not die jumping from this height. I fell silent. If I die, fine. If I don't, I'll be severely injured. If I don't get to go to the underworld, then I'll definitely be paralyzed. Humph. I gave a bitter laugh. I can't even decide my own death. What's the point of living then? This rule must have been made by someone sick. So, do you still want to die? Yes, of course. As long as there's a sliver of hope, I won't give up the chance to die. Then please register your information here. So many procedures. Willow Evans, he softly called my name. I was startled. No one had ever called my name that way before, sounding so good. To meet someone so handsome and with such a beautiful voice before dying, it was worth it. That's a nice name. A nice name. What nonsense. Willow and Evans. I just picked them off the top of my head. What do I do next to get out? He pointed at the window. Jump down. I jumped again. I felt the wind whistling past my ears, felt the boundless pull of gravity as I approached death. Thud. I hit the ground. Ouch. I slowly closed my eyes. After a few minutes, I realized I was still conscious. Am I not dead, just paralyzed? That's weird. I couldn't believe it, and tried to close my eyes tightly again. 5 minutes passed. That's it. I'm really paralyzed. In my head, I cursed Hade's ancestors for 18 generations for making such a bizarre rule that prevented me from dying. In the middle of the night, no one would pay attention to me. I regretted it so much. If I had jumped during the day, at least someone would have taken me to the hospital. I shakily sat up. In front of me was a normal 3-bedroom apartment with a living room. The layout was exactly like my house. The living room was clean and white, with classic wooden furniture. Where is this? Shouldn't I be lying broken-legged downstairs? I remembered the man I'd just met. It must be his trick again. On the wall hung an exquisite silver clock, but its face had 14 hours. Half a day longer by 2 hours, a full day longer by 4 hours. That's strange. The silence all around was eerie. The slow ticking of the second hand sent shivers down my spine. I looked around, but saw no one. As if guided by an instinct, I headed towards a bedroom. Behind the door was a grey-toned room with a clean, captivating scent. Books were neatly arranged on a bookshelf. The bed had nothing but a blanket. Near the window was a table. The man was leaning back in a chair. Hearing the sound, he turned his head. That's when I clearly saw the vase on the table holding 2 roses. Small, delicate rosebuds were growing freely in the grey room. So the scent in the room is the faint smell of roses. We meet again. His gentle voice sent shivers down my spine. I pretended to be calm. What exactly is this? Am I dead or alive right now? You're alive, of course. He rested a hand on his forehead, seemingly deep in thought. This building accidentally fell into a forbidden zone. So, when you jump down, each time you descend a few floors, you'll enter a room. Accidentally fell into a forbidden zone. I've heard of spirits falling into forbidden zones, but never a building. Accidentally. I think you set up a forbidden zone for this building. The man showed no embarrassment at being exposed. You're smart, too. What floor is this? The 13th floor. So I've only descended 3 floors. I guess I'll have to jump a few more times to reach the ground floor. No, wait. What if I end up jumping from the 2nd or 1st floor and don't die? You want to die? I can help you die and ensure you won't be a bloody mess. In short, a dignified death. Heh, you're so considerate. So, I rested my chin on my hand. What exactly is your goal? As a god, I can't help but suspect your intentions. Could it be that he really wants to convince me not to die? I don't think it's that simple. I'm a lazy god who wants to spend some time in the human world. Of course, I need a guide. No wonder they call you the fallen god, I scoffed. Why did you choose me? Because you're a good fit. Very good. I had every reason to suspect he was mocking me. Each time you enter a room, you can lead me to a place. You must have seen the clock in the living room. The extra 4 hours are your time. How many places you can visit depends on how many rooms you can enter. His eyes sparkled with a gentle, yet dangerous, smile. At the end, I'll grant you 1 wish. This deal didn't seem bad at all. I got to have fun and a god to grant my wish. 1 wish. Make it 3. Oh, right, I continued to haggle, and you have to make sure I definitely die in the end. He paused for a long time. All right. I thought he was going to say something like, it depends on fate. Fallen god, what should I call you? Having been a rebellious girl, now facing such an elegant and captivating god, my instincts freely expressed themselves. Caleb. Caleb, I looked at his back. He really is dangerous. Getting this stimulated before dying, I'm even more excited. Little girl, where are you planning to take me today? Don't call me little girl. I twirled a curl of my hair. Caleb, people call me Willow, how about you call me that too? Greed leads to trouble. He tapped my head with his pen. His lazy gesture was so familiar. It made me feel like we were very close. Write the place you want to go on this paper, and we'll go there. When the time is up, we'll automatically return. I took the paper, leaned back on the sofa, hiding my eyes from Caleb. It's a secret. I looked at him, guessing that a lazy god like him had probably never seen the wickedness of a nightclub. Wicked fun. I'm good at that. I quickly wrote nightclub on the paper. Opening my eyes, I was instantly in a familiar, joyful space. I reapplied my lipstick, excitedly pulling Caleb in. Caleb raised an eyebrow, as if questioning my choice. That's a good idea, actually. Why? Caleb's black suit fit perfectly, his pale collarbone peeking out. Already handsome, under the lights, his tear mole became even more enchanting. Bartender, 2 Long Island iced teas. Caleb, let loose tonight. 1 visit and you'll fall in love with nightclubs. Oh, really? Absolutely. I had to lean close to his ear to speak. The slight lilt in my voice made my heart race. I reasonably suspected he saw through my little prank. Of course. Have I ever tricked you? I winked cunningly at him. I handed him a glass of the drink. The cocktail was a gentle mix of lemon and tea, with a strong alcoholic aftertaste. Ordinary in appearance, but full of allure within. Long Island iced tea was always a wolf in sheep's clothing, but I was always lost in its deliciousness. Is it good? Good. I nodded, satisfied. I'm going to play over there, feel free to do your own thing. I weaved through the crowd. The dazzling lights made everyone seem to have a shadow. Thinking about how I'd been so preoccupied with dying, my newly styled hair hadn't even gotten a chance to be shown off, I shook my head even harder. The loud music stimulated my eardrums, every cell in my body was buzzing. Men and women in the club, each carrying unspoken secrets, let loose here. Young women danced, their waists swaying, each external beauty hiding deep, hidden dangers. Amidst the blinding lights, I turned and saw Caleb. His originally pale lips were now redder from the alcohol. The lights illuminated his face, making his mysterious aura even more intense. The handsomeness of a human and the handsomeness of a god combined made him irresistibly captivating, yet distant and untouchable. Lost in his beauty, Caleb turned his head and our eyes met. His cold eyes now held a smile. The tear mole beneath his eye seemed to come alive with a hint of playfulness. I flushed instantly. I felt a bit embarrassed. In 18 years of my life, I had never blushed in front of a man. A few young women approached Caleb. With just a few words, he skillfully sent them away. How boring. Then another man came up to chat. Predictably, with a face that could infuriate both humans and gods like his, no one could escape him. The other man wouldn't give up. The smile on Caleb's face vanished, replaced by an icy coldness. I took a sip of my drink, my head slightly hazy. Without thinking, I walked towards Caleb. The older man was still spewing lewd remarks. When he saw me approach, Caleb's gaze softened. I was so drunk my head was spinning, thinking I was about to die, so I figured I should seize the chance to do something reckless. I sat sideways on Caleb's lap, clearly feeling him stiffen. I thought to myself that he must have never been this close to a girl before. I wrapped my arms around his neck, intending to turn back and curse the older man a few times, but when I turned, he was gone. Where'd he go? He's gone. I suddenly felt flustered. So I had just played a prank on a god. I was just helping you get rid of him. I turned back quickly. My nose bumped into his high bridge. Oh, helping you get rid of him. At this close distance, my heartbeat clearly doubled. My face burned. I bit my lip and whispered, "Oh, that, not going down yet." I jumped off his lap in a panic, grabbed a glass of water nearby, and chugged it. Oh God, this liquor is too strong. I forgot there was no water at a nightclub, even though I was a regular. I rarely drank hard liquor. My tongue tingled and my face contorted, but I still forced it down. Caleb watched me, arms crossed. His face clearly red. "I'm just going to stand here and watch you make a fool of yourself." It was truly embarrassing. But the alcohol had taken effect, and his face was exactly my type. I reached out and touched his cheek, mumbling, "What a perfect face." Then I threw the bottle down and passed out. I was placed on a small bed by Caleb. Having drunk too much, I unceremoniously fell into a deep sleep. In a daze, I felt like I was running a fever, my head pounding as if it would explode. Indeed, this habit of getting a fever whenever I drank and caught a chill never went away. I tossed and turned on the bed, but the headache didn't subside at all. My throat was burning, my head was dizzy as if a heavy object was pressing down on it. I couldn't breathe, my eyes barely open, unable to see the surroundings clearly. Oh well, it's just my old ailment, I'll probably be fine by morning. In a haze, a voice echoed, "Pretty little girl, what color duffel bag do you like?" I turned over. "Purple." "All right." Suddenly, my head no longer hurt. The sensation was very pleasant. I sank deeper into sleep. I was woken by a constant clattering sound. Opening my eyes, I found myself lying on a soft little cushion. Where is this? I rubbed my eyes. Why do I feel so light? That's weird, why can't I stand steadily? Hey, pretty little girl, don't run around. A man in a white vest walked out. His hair was also dyed white, looking very proper, but as soon as he opened his mouth, he didn't seem normal at all. "Who are you?" "I'm Casper." "Casper?" I looked at his head-to-toe white outfit. "Are you Casper the friendly ghost?" "Heh," Casper scratched his head. "That's right, but I changed my name. Casper the friendly ghost was my old name." Oh my God. I heard Casper was really fierce. Am I about to die here? Why did you bring me here? Daring to snatch someone right under Caleb's nose. This guy must not be ordinary. I have to be careful. A pretty little girl like you, of course, is to be my lady, Casper said, reaching for my hand. I quickly slapped it away. He looked startled. On what grounds? Besides, I'm not even dead yet. Just two small things. Dying is easy. I really did want to die, but not like this. If I died here, my soul probably wouldn't even escape before he devoured it. I don't want to die yet. Me. Look, you're already disembodied, aren't you? What? I said. Why do I feel so light, like I'm floating? I tried jumping, and immediately floated in the air. You pulled my soul out like this. Do you want to die? I was so angry I spun around and kicked Casper in the head. Casper, you're an official, after all. You're really abusing your power. How can there be someone like you in the underworld? What about me? Ghost Rider even has a wife. If you're my lady, I guarantee you'll eat well and dress well. This Casper was truly stubborn. He pulled me down from the air and reached for me again. Now you can't control your soul well, it's best not to run around. Get lost. Don't you know that forced love doesn't last? This isn't forced. I already asked for your opinion, Casper pouted, looking aggrieved. Why was he the one aggrieved? I was confused. When did I agree to you? I asked what color duffel bag you liked, and you said purple. Oh, look, here's a purple spirit bag. Casper actually pulled out a small, very intricate purple cloth bag. Now I seriously suspected that Casper's mind wasn't quite right. Casper, do you know I belong to Caleb? Who is Caleb? He's the fallen god. Aren't you afraid he'll come looking for you? What? A little ghost like you? Who do you think you are? That had a point, but I couldn't lose face. I'm nobody, But Caleb came for me. He won't let anyone just take me away easily. Now I could only hope that Casper's official rank wasn't higher than Caleb's, so he'd still have some reservations. Then I'll talk to him nicely. See, I'm humbling myself for you, so you have to treat me well later. Casper looked at me with childish eyes that suddenly made me feel like a bad person. That look made me uncomfortable. I'm hungry. Are you going to let me starve to death before Caleb even gets here? All right, I'll go cook for you. When Caleb arrived, I was holding a large bowl of noodles, eating heartily. My mouth was still full of food, making my words unclear. Caleb, you wouldn't believe it, this Casper guy can actually cook pretty well. Before I could finish, I felt a strong pull, my chin hitting Caleb's chest. He wrapped his arm around my shoulder. Oh, Caleb, you're hurting me. Looking up, I met his pale eyes directly. His beautiful eyebrows were slightly furrowed in anger. Oh God, that gaze pierced right through my heart. Casper, you've got guts, don't you? Caleb's deep, powerful voice immediately made me feel safe. Yes, Casper certainly had guts. Casper, with his simple mind, didn't understand why I was siding with Caleb after just eating his noodles. Fallen God, I'm talking to you nicely here. I like this little ghost girl, let her stay with me. I felt Caleb's grip tighten on my shoulder. She's mine. His voice was cold but carried a hint of anger that made my heart tremble. Unfortunately, I couldn't resist the slight emotion I felt inside. You can't separate a couple. This little ghost girl already agreed to me. Oh my God. Saying separating a couple like this? You agreed. Caleb bent down and asked me. I looked at his angry face, I shivered and stammered. I stammered in fear, but in his eyes, I seemed to be acting guilty. I asked her what color duffel bag she liked, and she. Casper was still rambling when Caleb swung his hand, sending him flying 3 feet away. Casper rolled a few times, finally lying unconscious with wide, staring eyes. I stared wide-eyed at the scene. Before I could even react, I felt myself lighten, stuffed into somewhere dark as pitch. I tried to stand up but was immediately flipped over. The violent shaking made me feel like I was about to throw up all the noodles I had just eaten. Revenge. It must be revenge. He heard me say Casper's food was good and got jealous. I don't know how long I was spun around, but finally, the space around me quieted. When I was released, my body was limp, unconsciously clinging to Caleb's waist. He quickly helped me up. You're really not gentle at all. At least Casper asked me what color duffel bag I liked, but all you do is stuff me into a black duffel bag. I noticed Caleb's face was terrifyingly cold, so I voluntarily shut up. I saw my own body lying on the small bed, my face flushed. Seeing myself like that even made me feel bad. My voice was weak. Caleb, Before I could finish, I felt myself getting lighter and lighter. I panicked. I'm about to disappear, aren't I? Caleb reached out and grabbed the back of my neck, like picking up a small cat, turned around, and placed me back in my body. That really was gentle. So hot. I was startled by my own body temperature, tried to sit up but immediately fell back down. Suddenly, I felt jealous of myself when I was a soul, how light I was then. The familiar headache returned. I felt like my soul was being burned, both hot and cold. All I could see was red. Tears streamed down my face, but my eyes were dry and burning. I couldn't stop tossing and turning on the bed. I knew it. Medicine never worked for me. Willow. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw Caleb's worried gaze. What's wrong with you? I'm about to burn up. I tried to say I was fine. Caleb suddenly leaned close to me. Even though my vision was blurry, I could still clearly see the slightly reddened corners of his lips. His nose was very close to mine. His hurried breath carried a hot sensation and a faint, pleasant scent of roses. I felt like I was really going to die. Was he going to save me with a kiss? He placed both hands on my face, lowering his head. His tear mole seemed to instantly grow larger, making me panic and quickly close my eyes. My forehead suddenly felt cool. Cool currents of air swirled around my head, gradually soothing the pain. I opened my eyes and saw Caleb also with his eyes closed. Our foreheads were touching. I realized he was transferring energy through his forehead to heal me. His eyelashes were very long, trembling slightly. Beneath his smooth skin, tiny blood vessels were visible. I felt my heart soar again. My mind was hazy. His unintentional charm was truly fatal. I had fully recovered, but Caleb was exhausted. I carefully brought him a glass of water. "Caleb, please." Caleb raised an eyebrow and chuckled softly. "You don't need to feel awkward with me." "I'm not awkward. I'm just afraid you'll hold it against me. Right now, all I have is my life. But thank you anyway. I've never had anyone take care of me when I was sick." His reaction surprised me. He didn't ask me why. "If you want to talk, you'll talk on your own. But I really want to ask why you're so weak. Just a little alcohol and you got a fever." I have a chronic fever." I coughed lightly. When I was 5, I fell asleep and forgot to turn off the electric blanket. When I found out, the blanket was almost on fire. Turning it off made it cold. So it kept going from hot to cold, and that's how I got a fever, and it became a habit. As long as I catch a slight chill, I get a fever. I've never told anyone these things. I rubbed my eyes because they were stinging. But usually, a fever just needs a good night's sleep to go away. I didn't expect it to be this serious this time. "Ha." Caleb's gentle gaze rested on me. "Next time you're sick, take your medicine on time." I felt a little embarrassed. He didn't ask anything else, didn't ask why my parents didn't care about me. He was truly a gentle person, not intentionally stirring up buried emotional wounds. Caleb said that I only had 4 hours to go out with him, and the rest of the time he had to work. I felt a little guilty that my illness had taken up half of his working time, so I decided to play in the living room by myself. He said that when the clock reached 14, I could continue jumping. But it's so boring. I turned on the TV. Someone explained to me why a God's TV broadcasts all channels as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Did Caleb want to watch Buffy slay vampires and collect a few minor demons along the way? But I quickly got engrossed in the show. Of course, who wouldn't be captivated by Buffy's beauty? I was watching the exciting part where Buffy and Angel were about to get married when the clock chimed. "It's time for you to jump." "Oh," I waved my hand. "Wait, let me finish this part first." After the classic scene ended, I reluctantly tore myself away from the TV screen. Angel is such a jerk. How could he do that? Wait, isn't Angel your colleague? You wouldn't tell on me to him, would you? Caleb struggled to hold back a laugh. Angel isn't a god. Oh, right. I climbed onto the window ledge of his house. Hey, do you have any lipstick? I feel like mine's all worn off. No, but you look beautiful like this anyway. All right, I'm jumping then. Go on. To be honest, why was someone like me, who was about to die, so nonchalant? I held onto the window frame and leaned out. My body felt as light as cotton candy, my fingertips feeling the June breeze. I suddenly felt a little anticipation for where I would go next. Unlike the awkward first 2 times, this time I landed on a small sofa cushion. The house was still the same as before. Did it move with me as I fell? I crawled up and searched everywhere but couldn't find Caleb. Oh well. I don't know how long it had been. I almost fell asleep when Caleb called me. You can sleep with the TV on so loud. I ignored his teasing. Where did you go? I had some work to take care of. Oh, I turned off the TV, unable to resist complaining. Angel is such a scumbag. All right, Caleb laughed incessantly. Stop complaining, we have to go now. I reached out to take the paper from his hand, but he held his hand high. Caleb raised an eyebrow. This time, I'll choose the destination. All right, anyway, I haven't thought of anywhere else I want to go besides a nightclub, unless it's an internet cafe. I'm afraid if I keep messing around, he might get angry and strangle me. The pen spun quickly between Caleb's fingers. The small rose on his lapel pressed against his collarbone. His lips were pursed as if in thought. Then he chuckled softly, lowered his head, and wrote a few words. His smile made me a little dazed. I felt like I was that small rose pressing against his collarbone. No, he wouldn't write church to take me to find Angel, would he? Before I could even finish the word wouldn't, I felt a wave of dizziness wash over me. Opening my eyes, I immediately felt like I was about to disintegrate, even worse than meeting Angel. That's having to go. To make matters worse, I was sitting in class, right in the front row. Caleb was next to me. I don't know when he changed, but he was now wearing a white tracksuit, looking exactly like a college student. I glared at him. "Why did you bring me to school?" He blinked his bright, dark eyes. Sorry. My hand slipped. Slipped my ass. No, I wrote it wrong. Caleb corrected himself with a serious expression. Great. My fist is about to get real hard. If you weren't a god, I'd punch you right now. Now, we're going to randomly select a student to answer the question on the big screen, the professor announced. A list of student names was scrolling randomly. Whoa! High-tech much. I've never seen that before. I looked down at the textbook in my hand. Advanced Calculus. Is this college? That's right. Caleb remained as calm as ever. My anger flared. You put someone who just finished their SATs in an advanced calculus class? How am I supposed to understand this? It's like you're implying you'd understand high school math. He wasn't wrong, but he dared to look down on me. I gently kicked his leg. If they pick us later, you have to prompt me. Don't worry, with so many people, it won't be your turn. I fumed. You're a god, how can you be so defeatist? Did you forget? Caleb leaned close to my ear, his deep voice like a whisper. I'm a fallen god. I pressed my lips together, my ears burning from his breath, my heart pounding. Yeah, more like a defeated god, I thought to myself. Willow Evans. Willow Evans. Who's that? I was still dazed when the class started to buzz. Caleb nudged my leg. Oh, that's me. I jumped up. Ms. Evans, how do you solve this problem? The professor's voice was gentle, but I felt incredibly nervous. I suddenly forgot how I used to deal with teachers. Oh, right, because teachers never asked a problematic kid like me anything. I didn't know what to do. Professor, I don't know. The professor paused for a moment. I thought she'd get angry, but she just smiled. It's all right. If you don't know, then listen carefully. Then she looked at Caleb. Young couple, try not to chat during class, all right? The class erupted in laughter. Caleb, who had been resting his chin on his hand, didn't have time to hide his curved smile after watching me get called out. He just nodded awkwardly. Why yes, Professor. My face was burning. I sat down, pretending to be calm. See? They're laughing at you. I didn't expect to be picked either. Why didn't you prompt me? You made me look bad. If I had answered it, you wouldn't have been called out either. Caleb didn't answer, which made me curious. Why aren't you saying anything? He cleared his throat and scratched his head, looking a little embarrassed. I don't know either. What? You're not a god. Who said gods know everything? I looked at him, then up at the board. His small gestures, like a nervous student called to answer, completely lacked the demeanor of a god. I have a secret to tell you. Caleb leaned in slightly. I used to be a bad student. Didn't the underworld leaders blame you? Blame me for what? When I became a god, I was ranked number 1. It's just that I wasn't good at school. The sheer volume of information made me dazed. What does it mean to be a god? Does that mean there are times when he's not a god? A question suddenly arose in my mind. Class finally ended. Being forced to sit through an advanced calculus lesson, I learned absolutely nothing. Indeed, I wasn't cut out for academics. As I walked towards the stairs, I heard someone whispering, that girl who just got called on, her boyfriend's eyes looking at her were full of adoration. The voices weren't loud, but I heard them clearly. I instinctively turned to look at Caleb. He clearly heard them too. "No way," he mumbled softly, but I saw his ears turn bright red. So even gods get embarrassed. This look truly disgraced the divine. I thought to myself, but my heart was pounding furiously. Outside the academic building, a campus event caught my eye. I had always loved lively places, but unfortunately, this event wasn't for me today. It was a couples event. As long as they were in a relationship, they would receive a free pair of bubble teas, created by the school's famous academic power couple. Apparently, this bubble tea was already being sold on a small scale. The bubble tea was truly tempting, but where was I supposed to find a boyfriend now? As I was about to quietly leave, a girl spotted Caleb and me. "Hey, if you two can prove you're a couple, you can get free bubble tea. For example, taking a picture together or kissing." What a coincidence. Neither of us had those things. "Sorry, we're not a couple. Do you want some?" Caleb asked me. I nodded. "But we'd have to kiss. Would a hug work?" Caleb asked the girl. I suddenly felt a little disappointed. No, not really. You know, friends can hug too." The girl looked at us, her eyes gleaming cunningly. "What about a one-armed hug? If you're not a couple, you won't have that kind of chemistry." Okay. The girl nodded eagerly. I was a little worried. I tugged on Caleb's sleeve and whispered, "You know how to do a one-armed hug? I thought gods didn't play these kinds of games." Caleb raised an eyebrow. "I'm a Gen Z god." "Oh, a trendy god. Quick, I'll take a picture of you for a souvenir." The girl was inexplicably excited. I had to step back a few meters. "You have to catch me, okay?" "Don't worry." Behind Caleb, the deep blue sky merged with a dazzling, slanted sunset. The young man in the white hoodie smiled brightly. I suddenly thought, if he were human, he would definitely have a very bright future. I ran towards him, jumped, and squeezed my eyes shut. Whoa! I couldn't hear the cheers around me anymore. Opening my eyes, I saw my hands tightly gripping his neck, his deep black eyes shining brightly in front of me. "Are you that scared?" "A little bit." He gently pressed my head down. A soft click sounded as our foreheads touched. The faint scent of roses from him filled my nostrils, his deep voice almost a whisper. "I'll catch you." I was dazed by him. No one had ever hugged me like that before. He chuckled, making my face flush. "Here's your bubble tea and your photo." I instantly clutched the photo to my chest. It was truly too embarrassing. The girl behind us even shouted, "You guys are so sweet. Go, go, go." I urged nervously. Thinking about how the girl had called Caleb Big Brother, I couldn't help but wonder about his real age. "Caleb, how old are you?" 22. "No, I'm not asking about your apparent age, I'm asking about your real age." Was he secretly an old man in a young body? "I'm really 22. "But don't gods live for a long time?" "I was originally human," he said softly. "I passed away at 22. My eyes widened. So my previous guess was right. An accident. Not suicide. I was too shocked to speak, but he remained calm. I hesitated for a long time. 22 is such a beautiful age. Just graduated, mature, old enough to marry the person you love. Isn't 18 a beautiful age too? I froze, a sharp, bitter pain spreading through my heart and body. Right, we're nothing to each other. No matter what age, in the end, I just couldn't bear it anymore. My parents are gone. Caleb suddenly said, making me unsure how to feel. I could only awkwardly reply, me too. They abandoned me. Caleb suddenly laughed. We're so similar. The 4 hours passed quickly. Back home, Caleb continued his work, but my heart couldn't settle. Was Caleb approaching me because he felt my life was similar to his? Why did he tell me so much today? I curled up on the small sofa and fell asleep. I felt Caleb covering me with a blanket. Can't catch a cold. I just fell asleep as soon as I lay down. In my sleep, I had many dreams. When I woke up, it was exactly on the hour. I stretched. I climbed onto the window ledge and noticed my hair was now much more natural. At this moment, my mood when jumping down was completely different from the beginning. In truth, I always felt tired, unsure of the meaning of living. In the dark, Caleb's eyes shone brightly. He gently brushed the wind-blown strands of my hair, then took a small rose from his pocket. The tiny flower looked so lovely and made me feel a pang of pity. I tried to suppress my pounding heart. He gently pinned the small rose to my ear, his movements as practiced as if he were lighting a cigarette. Do I really look good with a bright red flower on my head? Indeed, straightforward men, regardless of their type, gods included, are no exception. It'll probably fall off. No, I've put a spell on it. Unless you take it off yourself. My mom really loved small roses. Was he treating me like his mom? Actually, sometimes I resent her a lot. Caleb sighed, but couldn't help but buy some small roses. You look very pretty with it on, Caleb mumbled to himself. 7th floor already. That was fast. Caleb was already waiting for me in the room. He handed me a white dress. Just picked it up, thought you might like it. But I had never worn a white dress before. I looked down at my work clothes paired with a crop top. But I think it's pretty. Just because you think it's pretty, I have to wear it. 3 minutes later, Caleb helped me adjust my hair. Does a white dress go with my purple hair? No, I think it looks great. Caleb pulled open a door. Behind it was a full-length mirror. I froze. In the mirror, I saw myself with pale purple, curly hair. My heavy makeup from before had been completely removed. My pale lips. I was wearing a white, fitted dress. Caleb was still in his black suit, the first button of his shirt still undone. The small rose in his pocket seemed to bloom a little more, like the silent emotions slowly blossoming in my heart. He stood behind me, his eyes in the mirror unexpectedly meeting mine, making my heart skip a beat. Let's go. As soon as I took the paper to write, before I could do anything, a wave of dizziness hit me. Caleb protected me, his hand covering my eyes. What's happening? I cried out in alarm. Don't be scared, his deep, steady voice blended with the strong wind, calming my heart. In front of me was a kindergarten. School again. Maybe the system is glitching. This time it brought us here to be teachers. What are we supposed to do here? Tour a kindergarten. Caleb shrugged. I don't know either. We'll just have to play it by ear. Hello, you two. Are you the new teachers? Heh. Oh, right. It seems the system made a mistake and brought us here to be teachers. By the time I realized, I had been pushed onto the podium to introduce myself. Normally, I wasn't afraid of such things, but facing a group of small children, I suddenly felt flustered. Hello, everyone. My name is Willow Evans. You can call me Ms. Willow. Ms. Willow, can we call you Auntie Willow? Of course you can. Auntie Willow, you're so pretty. Is that rose on your ear from your boyfriend? For the first time in my life, I blushed because of children complimenting me. A group of children buzzed around. The boys surrounded Caleb, playing, while the girls surrounded me, begging me to tie their hair. It was exhausting. By noon, the children were asleep. Finally, I had some alone time with Caleb. I felt a little excited. Have you ever thought about what you'll do in the future? What? For a moment, I felt a little sad. Did you forget? I was supposed to die this year. So you didn't have a dream when you were little? I did. Specifically, before I was 5, I did. But after that, I became more and more lax with my studies. I spent all my time at nightclubs and internet cafes. Don't you dare laugh at me, though. I once wanted to be a teacher. I unconsciously lowered my voice. It was just a childhood dream. It doesn't mean anything when you grow up. Teaching kids is exhausting, it's not fun at all. But there's a light in your eyes. My eyes stung uncomfortably. I deliberately changed the subject. Why is your name Caleb? That name sounds so sad, like you're saying don't come near me, I'm very dangerous. Caleb smiled. Then what do you think my name should be? The warm winds rustled the green leaves. Caleb, Caleb. Someone so clear and pure, like a cool breeze wafting through a field of flowers, leaving a gentle fragrance. Ha ha. Caleb burst out laughing. Sounds a bit cheesy, doesn't it? Not cheesy at all. I gently punched his shoulder. The warm wind made my face flush. I only wished time would stop at this moment. Beep, beep, beep. A frantic alarm startled me. From the distant bathroom, a thick cloud of smoke billowed out. I immediately felt it hard to breathe. Fire! Luckily, the children's dormitory was quite far from the bathroom, and there was no one else there. The fire grew bigger and bigger. The sound of fire truck sirens echoed from afar. My heart felt like it was going to leap out of my chest. My ears suddenly couldn't hear anything else. Or perhaps too many sounds rushed in at once. Oh, Willow, Daddy will be right back. Willow, Willow, Daddy's going somewhere beautiful. Willow, Willow, you just sleep. Mommy will be right back. Mommy, it's hot. Mommy, where are you? Oh, Willow, Uncle Ray will take care of you from now on. I hate everyone. In that instant, tears welled up in my eyes. My vision blurred. Everything in front of me became hazy and unclear. The bitter taste of tears spread on the corners of my lips. Willow! Willow! Caleb pulled me into his arms. My body trembled uncontrollably, tears soaking his shirt. I saw Uncle Ray. He was wearing his thick firefighter's uniform, rushing into the sea of flames. Since my parents were gone, Uncle Ray had mostly taken care of me, apart from government subsidies. But I had never been close to him. Not a biological child. Of course we wouldn't be close. Don't say that. This child, whose parents are gone, is truly pitiful. Perhaps because Uncle Ray wasn't my biological parent, he didn't interfere much in my life, only providing material support. But at this moment, standing before someone who wasn't even blood-related, I was still heartbroken beyond control. I cried out, Uncle Ray went in. He went in. Pull him out quickly. If he dies, there really won't be anyone left in this world willing to be close to me. I thought about my past indifference, how I was afraid of loss, so I didn't dare to get close. I screamed and struggled, wanting to rush inside. A giant wave of pain washed over me, making me unable to distinguish between reality and illusion. Deep down, a voice screamed, hold on to everything yourself. Don't let them disappear again. Willow! Willow! My blurry vision slowly revealed Caleb's house. I was back, but the pain in my heart was intensely stirred up. I hate them. Why did they abandon me? I was only 5 years old. My father, to save a child who accidentally started a fire, lost his life in the flames. My mother, due to a rescue call in the middle of the night, lost her life in a gas leak fire. And me, on the night I turned 5, when my father was gone, in the bone-chilling cold, my mother turned on the electric blanket for me. But before going on her mission, she forgot to turn it off. I woke up feeling hot, my throat dry. I quickly turned off the electric blanket. The temperature immediately dropped. The sudden hot and cold made me suffer from chronic fever ever since. When I woke up, the first thing I saw was Uncle Ray's haggard face. From then on, the 2 closest people in my life left me forever. I hated them so much. Every time I had a fever, I would think, why did they abandon me? They saved others, but they let go of me. I frantically tightened my grip on Caleb's arm. Tell me, am I their child? Why didn't they risk their lives to come back to me? Caleb just hugged me tighter, not saying a word. If, in the past few decades, someone had been able to hug me like this, without saying anything, perhaps I wouldn't have become so awful. All the warmth I had was given to me by Caleb's sympathy. Do you know how an abandoned child grows up? For over 10 years, there wasn't a single sign of life in the house. What they call a philosophy of life. I had to figure it out all by myself. No one taught me. There were only people who kept saying that an orphan like me was a terrible person, disgracing my parents. So I wanted to die. Life had no meaning. Why did I choose to jump from the 18th floor? Because I thought maybe that's how I could go to hell. I clearly understand that's illogical, but I admit, even though I hate my parents, they should be in heaven, and a terrible person like me shouldn't go there to bother them. Your life truly is a mess. That's right. This is the fairest comment from a god. My parents were also firefighters. When I was young, they passed away. I struggled until I was 22, then I committed suicide. Funny enough, because of my parents' good deeds, I was given the position of God. After being a god for a few years, I feel that the human world is truly beautiful. The days I spent with him, I learned a lot about him. So no matter what he said, I could calmly accept it. Being a god is boring. The human world is truly beautiful. You can pursue your dreams, find happiness for yourself. I remembered my childhood dream of becoming a teacher. Vaguely, I remembered telling my parents, "Mommy and Daddy save people, I'll teach people." I used to study ballet for a year, but then I fell and gave up. Are you telling me not to die? Caleb was silent. I thought he probably didn't know how to answer that question either. Even though I resented my parents, every time I saw small roses, I would still buy them. Caleb had said this sentence before. It made my nerves ache again. No matter how much I hated my parents, I didn't want to stain the heaven that belonged to them. I smiled faintly. Why does it have to be like this? Can't love completely, can't hate completely. The clock struck 14. Without hesitation, I jumped again. When I opened my eyes, I was too shocked to speak. The 5th floor. My house. The house that used to be desolate and lifeless was now filled with the aroma of food from the kitchen. I saw my parents and a couple I didn't know. They're here because I invited them. Right now, they don't recognize you. You can talk to them freely. 13 years. I hadn't seen them since. Perhaps I had forgotten what their faces looked like. The hatred was still there, but it couldn't compare to the deep, thousandfold love. They would always be my parents. I slowly walked forward but stopped halfway. Caleb, I look pathetic, don't I? Caleb adjusted the small rose on my ear. No, you look very beautiful. In the kitchen, 4 adults were busy. I guessed the 2 strangers were Caleb's parents. Hello, Auntie, Uncle. Hello, dear. My mother turned around. Mommy. That word was so difficult, like a foreign word I had to struggle to utter. I gave a bitter smile. Hello, little girl. I paused. Hello, Mr. White, look how pretty this little girl is. Yes, she's adorable. I saw my dad wearing an apron, busy cooking. My mom was helping him. My eyes watered again. What a wonderful family. Come eat, everyone. 6 people sat comfortably around the dining table. Little girl, are you Caleb's girlfriend? Ah. My face flushed. Yes, Caleb looked at me with gentle eyes, as if I were meeting his family. My heart suddenly skipped a beat. Little girl, eat more, okay? Uncle White cooks very well. My mom put food on my plate. Thank you, I like green vegetables the most. Oh my, you're just like my daughter. She's very well behaved and never picky about food since she was little. She loves green vegetables. I couldn't help but burst into tears. Look, honey, what did you say that made the little girl cry? Little girl, what's wrong? You can tell us. You two are so much like my parents, but they're gone now. I miss them so much. I miss Mommy and Daddy so much, I thought to myself. Don't cry, don't cry. Your parents definitely loved you very much. Yes, your parents loved you very much. My 2 sons, they really don't show any affection. I wonder if he misses me. Caleb's mother quietly complained. How could that be? He misses you too very much, Caleb said softly, but his eyes were still a little red. Oh, right. Mr. White, your daughter is 18 this year, right? Caleb's father asked. That's right. It's just a shame she can't attend her coming-of-age ceremony. But I believe my daughter is definitely very outstanding. But I wasn't well behaved. Are my parents mad at me? I couldn't help but ask. Of course not. As long as you don't harm others, in your parents' eyes, you'll always be the most wonderful child. Really? Really, Willow? Believe in yourself, Caleb interjected. Ha. My dad has had some drinks, he seems a little tipsy. The four of us, we were all firefighters. When we rescued people, the fire was big, but saving lives felt so good. But my dad, a strong man, suddenly choked up. My daughter was so young, I don't know if she remembers my face. Then I died. All I could do was pray my wife would be careful. Our daughter no longer had a father, she couldn't lose her mother too. As parents, we owed no one anything, only our daughter. I regret it so much with my daughter. I tried to suppress the tears welling up in my eyes. Daddy, I heard you. This belated apology, I've held it in my heart for so many years. But I believe my daughter will definitely forgive us. She will definitely be proud of us. My daughter is definitely a good girl. My son is also definitely a good guy. Caleb smiled very happily, but I saw a sparkle of tears in his eyes. My daughter is very beautiful. My son is also very handsome. My daughter knows ballet. I flinched, as I hadn't danced ballet in a long time. You know how to dance too, Mom? What? Can you dance for me to see? Of course. I stood in the middle of the living room, trying to recall the ballet moves I learned as a child. The steps were clumsy, but I was so happy. The girl who used to wander in nightclubs was now wearing a white dress, dancing a clumsy but heartfelt dance for her beloved mother. Applause rang out in the steam rising from the hot pot. I saw everyone smiling. That's wonderful, just like my daughter. After a few rounds of drinks, the dads were completely drunk. As if by a special intuition, Caleb's mother pulled him aside and started chatting animatedly. My mother also turned to me and talked non-stop. Little girl, you're so young, how did you meet us departed souls? I don't dare tell the truth. Caleb is a god. Perhaps it was fate, he just brought me here to play. My mother's eyes looked at Caleb with tenderness. He's a very good God. Yes, a very good God. A God who moves me. You must live well, okay? I gasped in surprise. I also hope my daughter can grow up happily. She definitely will. You know, she continued, unnatural deaths are only worthwhile when they're to save others. I felt ashamed. If I had truly jumped to my death, how sad my parents would have been. My eyes unconsciously glanced at Caleb. I hesitated again. If I died, I could use the wish he promised to stay by his side. But if I didn't die, my connection with Caleb would end here. I didn't want that. I timidly asked, what about for the person you love? My mother smiled very gently. It's worth it. My heart lit up. But that person will be heartbroken. My heart ached. If I died, would Caleb be sad? The 4 hours passed quickly. I could calmly watch the four of them leave, but I still wasn't sure whether to choose life or death. Willow, there are no more rooms downstairs. I froze. That meant I had no other choice. If I jumped again, I would die. My parents wanted me to live well, but I also wanted to be with Caleb forever. Caleb, if I die, can I stay by your side? Yes. Then what can I do? Become a little ghost, he chuckled softly, then became more serious. But your dream won't be fulfilled. Your parents will also be very sad. Your freedom will be taken away. I will be sad too. I remembered what my mother said, dying for the person you love is worthwhile, but that person will be heartbroken. So what if I don't die? I unconsciously clenched my fists, too tense to say another word. I will find you. His gentle voice warmed my heart. I smiled. Caleb, can I sleep here for a bit? I'll carry you to bed. Before I fell asleep, Caleb gently pressed his forehead against mine and said, "Good night." I was woken by the ringing of a phone. Bright white light filled my vision. Willow, you're awake. Uncle Ray frantically called for a doctor. That's when I realized I was in a hospital. You scared me half to death. After your SATs, you had a high fever at home. It's my fault. My fault. I haven't taken good care of you all these years. I didn't even know you frequently got fevers. Uncle Ray's eyes were red. I smiled. So it was just a dream. Uncle Ray was still here. He hadn't gone to fight any fires. But Caleb. I couldn't remember clearly. A vague feeling that he was a very good person to me. Forget it. Uncle Ray, are my SAT scores out? Yes, they are. Willow, you did great. Really? Probably. Thinking about how I had both hated my parents and felt guilty, how I had sometimes played wildly and sometimes studied frantically, I probably did pretty well. In my dream, it seemed I had met my mother. I just wanted to be quiet for a moment. Uncle Ray, can you help me look at college applications? I want to be a teacher. Okay. You just focus on recovering, I'll help you look. Yes. My illness quickly passed. While tidying up my books at home, a photo fell out. I hadn't had the habit of taking photos in years. On the back of the photo were 2 words, "Wait for me." I flipped it over. It was a clear, high-resolution photo. A young man in a white hoodie was hugging a girl with one arm, their foreheads touching, their eyes filled with love. Back then, I had blushed. Now, I blushed again. He truly was a god who made one's heart race. 2 years later, I was 20, the legal age for marriage, but I had never fallen in love. I had enrolled in a teaching university, officially saying goodbye to nightclubs. On my birthday night, my friends who came to celebrate were all drunk. They helped each other back to the dorms. I went downstairs to get some fresh air. In the quiet night, cicadas chirped intermittently. The air carried a faint scent of roses. Under the dim yellow light, a man stood tall and straight. He wore a khaki jacket and had neatly cut hair. He turned and slowly walked towards me. My 22-year-old boy. He held a small rose in his hand. He pinned the rose to my ear, still in that straightforward way of his. "The rose suits you very well." I gently punched his shoulder. "Sorry I'm late." He pulled me into his arms. The tear mole at the corner of his eye seemed to magnify. Foreheads touched foreheads. Love spread. For the past 2 years, I hadn't dared to hope too much, because, after all, gods love everyone. I couldn't monopolize him. But the wish I had secretly made that night finally came true. He really did come looking for me. Before, I promised to grant you 3 wishes. Now, what's your second wish? To kiss you. I closed my eyes. My lips met a cool breath. Was this the kiss of a god? Sacred and profound, romantic and tempting. He gently held my lips. What's your third wish? To marry you. All right. Everything as you wish. I heard that during his years as a god, he achieved outstanding results and was granted 1 wish by the other gods. He said he wanted to be human because he wanted to come find me. We quickly registered our marriage. Caleb. I softly chewed on his name. So his name really was Caleb. How wonderful. A cool breeze, sharing a pillow.